Bristol on this sunny Easter day. We are very privileged to have Captain Colin Morris with us today, up in the cockpit, and he'll be hosting Over to you, Colin.
I've got a microphone. Can anybody hear me? Yeah, you sure? I'm not convinced yet. Man on the volume, is that all right? Okay. Now, as you might imagine, I've done this a few times before. I first flew this aeroplane when it was brand new, took it to Washington Dulles, and back again the following day. Very pretty it was too. So what we're demonstrating to you today is the nose and visor lowering, and the reason it had this facility was so that we could see where we were going, purely for visibility, not for eating ants. When you come out to the aeroplane, the first thing you notice is that the nose and the visor is in the up position. Why do we have it like that? Well, it stops the rain getting in, and it also makes the aeroplane look neat and pretty. So once all the passengers are boarded, you start to start the engines. Okay. Ready when you are. Well, just imagine the engine is starting up now, and as soon as the flight engineer switches on the hydraulics, I would call visor down. Ready?
How are we doing? Now you can hear. So the first command would be visor down, as soon as you've got hydraulics on the engines, and here we go, visor down. And make the selection, and down it goes. So we now get the aeroplane ready, all the engines started, and if we're on a gate, then you would be used to a tractor pushing you back. The tractor would push you back in this configuration until you're clear of the gate, and then there'd be a ground crewman would walk underneath the aeroplane, and he'd be plugged in with a headphone so you could talk to him. And then as soon as everything was sorted out, he would say, okay, bye-bye, and unplug himself and disappear, give you a thumbs up. And at that point, you would know that everything had been removed from underneath the aeroplane, and there was no danger of you doing any damage. So then you'd be ready to taxi out. You say nose to 5 degrees. So I will go. There we go. Nose to 5 degrees. And there is the nose going to 5 degrees. And that's the position you'd be in for taxi out and for takeoff. You take off like that. And in the pilot's notes, it says anytime you're going to fly the aeroplane below 250 knots indicated airspeed, you have to have the nose and visor in this position. So, taking off from London Heathrow, for instance, you would fly like that until you got overhead Woodley, over Reading, and then you start with your acceleration. And as soon as you start with your acceleration, you call for the nose up and the visor up. And it's really, really exciting, but when the visor comes up, the cockpit goes silent, almost as though the engine has stopped. It makes a huge difference. And that is the position you'd be in for the whole of the flight, with the nose up and the visor up. And then when you start arriving at your destination, as the speed comes back down to 250 knots, just before you get to 250 knots, you call visor down, nose 5 degrees, and that's the position you'd be in. Like this. Flying around, let's say New York or wherever it is you're going, you flying around in this position, waiting to do your final approach. When it comes to the final approach, then when you're lined up with the runway, you will call for the undercarriage down, put the undercarriage down. As soon as the undercarriage is locked down, we will call nose down, and that's nose going down to the 12.5 degree position. We never mentioned the 12.5 degree position as far as we were concerned. It was just nose down. But there you go, nose down. The undercarriage is down, and that is the aircraft in the landing configuration. If you're sitting up here as a pilot, you can't see any of this nose at all. You're looking straight through a clear window at the runway. And very good it is too. Very good visibility. Absolutely fantastic. When you land, and as soon as you get to the end of the runway, turn off the runway, what do you think you would call for? Nose to 5 degrees. So there you go. You go nose to 5. The taxi. So you put the nose up. There we go. That's nose to 5 degrees. You'll be taxiing in. And as soon as you get on the gate, you then finish with the hydraulics and everything. Just before you shut the engine down, you'd say, nose up, right up. So here we go, here we go. I'm sitting in the co-pilot seat here. I'm used to doing it from the captain's seat. Okay, so there we are. So nose up, and then visor up. There we go. We want the visor sliding up. Keep my nose away from this joint here. There we go. And that's the visor up and locked, and the nose up and locked. And that's how the aeroplane remains until it gets started up the next time. And that is the nose and visor demonstration.